All right, so we are going to talk about a few formulas, and one of them you probably have seen before, but the other two are probably new. And I wanted to make sure to go over this stuff because it will, at least one question of each of these will be on the ACT, guaranteed. So let's first talk about midpoint in the formula. So the formula looks a little crazy, but it's really not that bad. I think it's the easiest one, maybe the second easiest, I don't know. So it's x1 plus x2 in a fraction divided by 2 with parentheses. Then you have a comma, you have another another parenthesis, and then it's y1 plus y2 over 2. Okay, so I know it looks crazy, but just give it a chance. So midpoint formula, so it's the middle. So here I gave you a picture so you could kind of see what we're doing. So we have these 2 points, E and F, and we're looking for the middle. So I think the middle is going to be somewhere in that area, right? That looks about the middle to me. So let's do the problem and see what happens. So I'm going to rewrite my points over to the side so I can see them a little bit better. So I have 7, 5, and 2, -4. The first thing I want you to do on every single one of these problems is label. So we have x1, y1, x2, y2. You could have also labeled these as, this one is x1, y1, and this is x2, y2. It doesn't matter as long as you're consistent. So either the black or the green, they would have worked. I'm just going to stick with the green because I did that first. Okay, so let's do the problem. So it's going to, you have some big parentheses and 2 fractions inside there. Kind of looks like a face. All right, the formula on the first set of fraction is x1, 7, plus x2, which is 2, divided by 2. And then the second one is y1, 5, plus y2, which is -4, divided by 2. Okay, so you can, I know it looks a little crazy, but you can actually stick these in a calculator and you end up getting, so hit the fraction button first whenever you're doing it. So 7 plus 2 is 9, divided by 2 would be, you could write it as a fraction, but I'm just going to write it as a decimal. So 4.5, and then the other one, 5 plus -4 is 1, divided by 2, so that's 1/2, which is 0.5. Okay, so let's see where that point is, see if it's in my little expected region. So go over to 4.5 on the x-axis. So 1, 2, 3, 4.5 would be right here. And then go up 1/2 on the y-axis, which would be right there. Look, that's smack dab in the middle. We did it correctly. Okay, so that's how the midpoint formula works. Let's do a couple more. So first thing you need to do is label x1, y1, x2, y2. Make your giant parentheses. So it's x1 plus x2 over 2, and then y1 plus y2 over 2. So, oops, sorry, I don't need the parentheses. So -5 plus 3 is -2. Divided by 2 is -1. 2 plus -3 is -1. Divided by 2 is -1.5 or 0.5. Okay, so one thing you notice on your answer for all of these, you need to have parentheses around your answer. Okay, that's huge. Last one of these before we go on to the next one is the, so we got a label x1, y1, x2, y2. Set it up, so -2 plus 3 over 2, and -4 plus 0 over 2. So that first one, I know I'm going quick, I'm just trying to save time on the video, is 0.5, -4 plus 0 is -4, divided by 2 is -2, with parentheses and a comma. Okay, the distance formula. This one is a little crazy, but that's fine. So it is the square root, a giant square root, and it is x1 minus x2 parentheses squared plus parentheses y1 minus y2 close parentheses squared, and all of that is underneath the square root. Yep, I know there's a lot going on, but it's fine. Okay, so let's make sure you get that written down correctly. Check that you have all the minuses, pluses, square roots, parentheses, and your exponents. Okay, so here we go. We got x1, y1, x2, y2. So you're going to do a square root. So this is 3 minus 7, right? Because that's what x2 is. Squared plus parentheses y1, 2 minus 2. Oops, I'm sorry. Let's change this problem. Actually, change that instead of a 2. Let's change that to a 3. Sorry, 2 minus 3 squared. Sorry, change it. Okay, so now, whenever you solve these, I want you to break it up into 2 different parts, and you'll see why. I just want you to do the stuff underneath the square root. Do not take the square root yet. Okay, so type all of that in your calculator. Please do it to practice. And you end up getting 17. And since we haven't taken the square root yet, you still need to write the square root symbol. Okay, so now you can type the square root of 17 in your calculator, but it's an irrational number and we don't want that. So we need to see if we can break it up, seeing if any of the perfect squares like 1, 4, 9, 16, 25, 36, 49. When I say perfect squares, those are the ones I'm talking about. If you're in my classroom, they're also on the board. Do any of those go evenly into 17? And the answer is no, they don't. So this is your answer, because you can't do anything, you can't break it apart like we've done in the past. Okay, let's do another one. So first one, label x1, y1, x2, y2. I have the square root of -6 minus -2 squared plus 3 minus 5 squared, all underneath the square root. Okay, so you solve all of that stuff underneath the square root, and you get 20, so I have the square root of 20. Now, can I break that apart? The answer is yes. Which perfect square goes evenly into 20? Well, that's 4, right? Because 4 is perfect square, so 4 times 5. What is the square root of 4? That's 2. Drop down the square root of 5. Okay, last one of these. Label it x1, y1, x2, y2. So I have square root of 3 minus 2 parentheses squared plus 2 minus 6 parentheses, or 2 minus 6 is quantity squared. Okay, so that gives me, I believe, 17. Hey, look, we've had this one before. Square root of 17, you can't do anything with, so I'm going to leave it. All right, last thing we're going to talk about is the formula for slope. You may have seen it. A lot of people, whenever I ask this in class, what is slope? And they want to say y equals mx plus b. And this is called slope-intercept form, which is useful in algebra, but we need the formula just to figure out what the m is. So that formula is as followed. It is m equals, and then you have a fraction, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And again, make sure you get that written down, so if you have a note card, you can write it on there later. Okay, so let's do a few. So we have x1, y1, x2, y2. So the formula for slope, you do y2 first. So 7 minus 2 over x2, 4 minus x1, 3. Then you can put it in a calculator or just work it straight across. So you have 5 over 1 Or a better answer probably would just be 5 for this. Okay, let's do another one. Label it. So I have -8 minus 4 over -2 minus -3. Okay, so on top I get -12. And on bottom, did I get a 1 again? Yes, I did. So this is -12 over 1, which is -12. Did not mean to do that. If, for example, I don't have one in here, but if I had one that was a fraction, say it was like you got 8 over 12 or 12 over 8, you need to always reduce or simplify, however you say it. So this would be 2/3. Okay, and if you're not great at reducing, put it in your calculator. Decimals will do it for you. Okay, so we have x1, y1, x2, y2. Now I have 4 minus 4 over 3 minus -2. 3 minus -2 on bottom is 5. On top you have 0. So 0 divided by 5. This slope is 0. Okay, so if you don't believe me, stick it in a calculator. And just for fun fact, a slope with 0 is a horizontal line. Okay, last one, x1, y1, x2, y2. So this would be 5 minus 2 over 3 minus 3. So I get 3 over 0. You have a 0 in the denominator when you're dividing. Your answer is undefined. If you don't believe me, put it in your calculator. Okay, so fun fact, a slope with undefined, or a line with undefined slope is a vertical line. Okay, that is it for slopes, midpoints, and distance formula. I hope you enjoyed watching and have a great rest of your day. Oh no, what did I just do?